Okay, I'm back to do the follow-up work on this bike. So the sprockets are on. Managed to get the same size as the original ones, which is 17 and 39. When I first looked at this, I saw a number on C45. It's not a 45 tooth sprocket, it's a 39. So now that I've done the sprockets, I'm going to move on and we're going to take the carbs off. I'm going to have a look at them today, and if we can fix them, I'll fix them. If they need some work, I'll take them away and come back another day. So what I found the other day when I was working on this set of carbs, the slow jet, as Honda call it, or the pilot jet, was clear, but on two of the carbs, the passageway that joins the slow jet to the intake, and also there's like an air jet. Well, it's not a jet really, but there's a hole on the air filter side of the carbs here that comes through, meets up with this slow jet, picks up some fuel on the way, and then that comes out into your intake. So I've just drawn like a basic diagram here to make it a bit more obvious. So this is the side of the carb, and in the opening here where the airbox is, you've got a hole which goes like, it's sort of like plumbed in, so it goes down into here and then across, and that's your jet, your slow jet, and then it comes across here, picks up the fuel from there, and then goes back into the intake around about just about here really, so just in front of this slide. So if I move all of this out of the way, we'll come in onto this. So as you can see, the jet here goes into this block, and it connects up to this side here, so this part of the carb, and then you rotate this round, and then you've got deep down in here there's a little hole, so that joins up with this body here, and then it goes, it's hard to say where it goes, but it may go across here and then back up, but I think it ends up down in here. So if I go in a bit further, so you'll see there's the slide. These are really small, these carbs. That's like 25mm. So if we open the slide up, if I can get in even further, it won't look very good this, but you'll just have to take my word for it, but inside there's a small hole, and that's where it ends up. So as I say, these carbs, oops, come back out a bit. So these carbs were done a few months ago, so they've had new jets, you know, the whole lot's been gone through and cleaned, but the problem with the bike was it would start up on choke and it would actually run on without choke, but when you give it any revs it just didn't want to know. So with this circuit blocked, you're cutting off a good portion of the idle sort of fuel, and it was two carbs that were blocked, so this one and this one were blocked up. So the other two were obviously fine, but they weren't able to, you know, compensate. The rider, the owner, he said that you could ride it, but you'd have to get it going. So initially, starting off in first gear was really hard, he said, but once he got going, it was fine. So what I was thinking was, well, it means that the pilot circuit's blocked, either one or two of the carbs is blocked. And I was quite relieved to find that they are, because obviously these have been done within the last 6 months, but I think this problem either has come from after that or was there all along, so it's hard to say, isn't it? Obviously we'll find out when I go back and fit them if the bike runs properly, but I think it'll be fine now. To get them unblocked, I've basically put I've got some carb cleaner, which is sort of like a trade only sort of secret stuff. Well, it's not secret, but you can buy it if you're in the trade. Put some of that down, left it for the day, and then I've come back and I basically put the airline in. It was still blocked, and then I put some thinner carb cleaner, you know, the stuff you get off the shelf. Just kept pushing that through with the airline, and then eventually it's come through unblocked. So when I did check it, it was blocked at both sides, so it was blocked. So when you put the airline on this here, it was actually blocked. You know, it wasn't coming out at the front, it wasn't coming out at the back, so the blockage was sort of like in the middle part, or both the small hole here and that hole there was blocked. You can't be sure really, but the main thing is you put air on here and it comes out both sides. That's what you want really. See how that idle comes down. I think what I might do is I might carb balance it, because no doubt it's not perfect. I'll get it warmed up anyway first, get the carb balancer out. Right, so the carbs are on. This is actually running really well on like no choke. Well, I'm going to put the carb tune on just to check the balance. So this is what it sounds like before balancing, and I've got the idle set to just over 1200. This is what it revs like. Got a little bit of a splutter there, but got some condensation coming out. All 4 exhaust pipes are red hot, so I'm just going around putting these clamps back on, and then once it's warmed up enough, I'll put the carb balancer on it, carb tune, see what that looks like. So the longer the bike runs, the idle speed actually is starting to go up slightly. So I'm just reducing it with the idle screw, and then when it goes to like a sort of a low idle, you can hear it's a little bit out of balance. There's a bit more vibrations on the frame as well. So I think that's warmed up enough for balancing. Right, so I've got the carb balancer hooked up now. So we get the key. Let's see what it looks like. That's not too bad really, but I think we can make it better. Right, see what happens when I adjust this. So they've got the adjuster. That's what you need to adjust those lock nuts and the screwdriver slots. So that's going to be fun. Right, we'll get the tank off, I think. This might be a bit tricky to film because I've got to adjust these set screws and film. So I've loosened the lock nuts, so there's a chance that the balance has gone out further. So you've got to go into here onto the adjuster and then see where the adjustment needs to go. Okay. Just drop the tick over speed down a bit. Then I'm on number 3 now. That's too much. You put too much pressure on it. Right, that looks good to me. So I'll go for number 3, I think. Leave that there. Do number 4 now. We'll get the screw. Right, let it settle down for a moment. Bring the idle down. Okay, so I'm going to work on number 3 and 4 again. So I've set all the lock nuts now, so let's just see what the balance is like. So I've spent about an hour messing on with the carb balance, and the main problem is that on these older carbs, the adjustment and the method that the throttle plate or the throttle slide is linked to it, it's all very, you know, squidgy. So if you tighten that nut up too much, it can affect it. And then obviously once it's tightened, you can't set it again. So you go into this perpetual loop where you're just constantly back and forth, back and forth. So I'm gonna have to leave it there. You could spend forever adjusting that and it would be good. And then, you know, you open the throttle a few times and this mechanism will be completely, you know, it'll be in a different place. So you just got to bite your bullet. The moment the bike starts, runs, sounds really good, so I'm happy. Right, that's the work on this bike done. So I've balanced the carbs. I'm happy with them. This is how it starts. Tick over is a little bit on the low side perhaps. And the choke isn't on this time, so that's a bonus. It's actually a really nice model, this.